Welcome, everybody, to the Lamborghini Gallardo Super Cup Championship presented by Off the Track, Round 3 from Laguna Seca. So glad you're with us. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys who are celebrating it here in the U.S. and tuning in for the U.S. Series. My name is GTR Kicker, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend DR Roadkill. And this is Jason. How's it going, man? I'm excited for this racing tonight.
I'm pretty sure the only person that knows I'm called Jason is you and Billy Sue, and maybe Skyline. But thanks anyway. I'm great, as always, drinking my coffee and looking at my phone and watching Gallardo Super Cup. I'm ready.
What would you rather be doing than commentating on Gallardo Super Cup, man? This is just an awesome series. Well, any day, dude. Any day's a good day when you have the Gallardo Super Cup.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking for cheesy lines to throw at the Gallardo Super Cup, yes! Any day is a good day for Gallardo Super Cup. Any day is a good day for racing, in my opinion.
That's a fact.
Well, today, I am tired, as I have not slept yet. It has been a long time, easily 21 hours at this point.
Yeah, that's a long time, bud. You had the EU side last week, joined by Mellish. I watched that stream back. Got a couple notes off of it. And,
not last week. Yeah, yesterday.
Did I say last week? I thought I said last night.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
And I'm the one who hasn't had sleep, and you're the one messing shit up. So.
Dude, I had a big meal yesterday. A big meal, and I had the leftovers today. Oh, dude, apple cobbler with some ice cream. Dude, it's over. It's over. So good. I mean,
I don't blame you for being in a comatose state after that. That's fair enough. Oh, by the way, I just dropped a swear word before, but did you hear Mellish yesterday drop a whole bunch of swear words midstream? I was like,
yeah,
dude, okay, no worries.
No, I did hear that. I was like, Mellish, this is professional.
This is family friendly. This is family friendly, guys.
Especially in the beginning when you guys were just like doing the. When you guys were just doing the like setting up all the overlays and stuff, like getting them in position on stream, you guys were just like,
yeah.
He was just like cranking them out, and I was like, oh, okay.
And I was like, dude, we're live. There's people watching us, and he's like, oh.
Anyways, guys, we got qualifying coming your way here in just a couple minutes. Just waiting for all the drivers to go into their lobbies. A little bit of a short night tonight. Well, not short night, but a little bit of a dry night tonight. We only had, I want to say 26 guys sign in.
25, I believe is the correct number.
25 drivers sign in, and one of them won't even be here tonight that did sign in. That is, well, actually, there's going to be a couple. HCCR Chum, AMR Vortec, and we know that Velace Force 1 is not going to be here as well. And neither is, well, it looks like we don't have did not qualify from Aldi Wolf. So it looks like they might even
Aldi Wolf. I don't know. Yeah.
If we have too few drivers, we might have to, because then RBM Top Gear is also not even registered. So we may even have just like one night if that's the case. Could be quite interesting. I mean, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 25, that's 6 drivers. So that's 19 drivers left that are racing that we know of so far. And this is an interesting story because this provides a lot of those other guys who run mid-pack to get some really good finishes tonight, especially if Force 1 is not racing. He's one of the guys that we normally see up top. We could see some drivers finish a lot higher and get a lot more points than they normally would, and this is going to be huge for them tonight.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a big shakeup in the top 8. I mean, tonight's the night. If you guys want to break into that top 8, this is your chance. This is your golden ticket.
Yeah, and we got a couple bubble drivers that are looking to sneak in as well.
That's what I just said.
Well, yeah, tonight is their night. Well, I was gonna go over the bubble drivers.
Okay, go over the bubble drivers. That's fine.
So the guys that are on the bubble here, the guys that we consider on the bubble are those guys who are 5th through 12th. So, because you make top 8, 4 above and 4 below that cut line. The thing is, in the U.S., it's a lot more spread out than it really is in the EU. But the guys that are essentially on the bubble right now, you got Billy Sue, AMS GG Racing, THR Skyline, and Captain Solo are above the cut line. And then below the cut line, we have TOS Julian, WRT Fujiwara, Fat Cat Empire, and HCR Hakanin. He is actually been in B lobby both races and gotten the maximum amount of points. So I'm looking to see him in A lobby tonight, actually, with a couple of guys missing. Be curious to see how he does.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, I love the whole cutoff line, bubble line. I really enjoyed it in the Forza RC. I'm really enjoying it here. It's always good to see not everyone just fighting for that first place position, because let's face it, some guys are just faster than others. But you know, that's racing. It's cool to see that. That's all I'm gonna say.
For sure. Julian needs to have a really good night tonight, does he not?
Julian really needs a good night. I mean, he's in the best position to unseat anybody in the top 8 tonight. I mean, he's only trailing Captain Solo by 13 points. So if he has a good round and Captain Solo has a pretty rough round, we could see some interesting shakeups in the top 8 for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just about that consistency. You know, here's my deal on Julian. What he needs to do tonight is simple. Because a couple of those guys aren't racing, it's really key that he has a good night. And here's what he needs to do. He needs to run around where Captain Solo's at, like he's been doing in that first race. Qualify well, and then make sure he hits that, that 7-8 mark with Solo. Make sure that he's, within a position or two. Second race, he needs to capitalize on starting in front of him. He needs to make his way through that field faster than Captain Solo does, and hope that Solo gets caught in those back drivers, because that's the key, because he needs to make up a lot of points. And the further you go up the field, the larger the interval is between those points. So if he makes up more positions than Solo does and finishes a lot higher than he does in the second race, he's going to have a really good chance to overtake him in for that 8th spot. He's only 13 points back. That's maybe 2-3 positions throughout the night tonight in compile that to both races. That's 13 points.
Yeah, I mean, he just really needs to finish in front of Captain Solo by a few positions in the reverse grid race, and just have a really solid first round, whatever you want to call it. And he should be pretty golden to unseat him for that 8th spot.
And tonight is not going to be anyone's drop round that's racing, because there's going to be so many positions that are gained because so many people aren't racing. So
don't speak too soon.
I would be shocked unless someone has a really bad round. This round is important for everyone. Everyone has to run well. Without Force One racing, this provides if Force One wants to win this region, he's only 3 points behind Lightning. If he wants a shot to win this region and Lightning is racing tonight, he's got to be flawless the rest of the season.
And if Zoom wants to catch up and make a play for those top 2 positions, that's what he's got to do as well. I mean, you really want that top spot, because that's where the money is for the what do you call it, region series. I can't remember what. Yeah, like regular seasons.
The regional championship. Yeah, because remember the winner. Yeah. Gets $100. The winner of their region gets $100, and I believe a trophy will be coming their way as well. Can't wait to see those trophies as well.
Yeah.
But so those guys are the keys as well. Guys in the chat as well, go ahead and put in what you guys think some of these guys need to do, either to win their region or to win to get into that top 8. I think the guys to watch right now is Julian and Captain Solo. Solo's on the bubble. He is in 8th position. He is in that final transfer spot coming into tonight with 291 points. Julian is behind him by 13. That's not a lot of points. And Skyline is in 7th with 304. He's only 13 points ahead of Solo.
That's right.
So he can't have a bad night as well. He's had some bad luck as well. He's had some bad luck in terms of especially
races.
Yeah,
he's had some. Yeah. He's had some pretty rough races. I mean, did he have a disconnect? I don't think he had a disconnect, but he got bullied quite a lot. I think he had a good qualifying last round, and just sort of fell down the order there with some mistakes.
Yeah, but he had an insane recovery last week as well, even after going off.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
He's got to minimize putting himself in those positions, because one slip up could see him below that cut line. I mean, especially if Julian last week, we saw at Sebring, he was out front for the majority of that race before those guys all caught up to him. If he could have held that position and even finished in the podium without getting muscled out, he would have had an extraordinarily better chance. He would be a lot closer to Captain Solo right now if he could have finished in that position. And that's why I'm saying he's got to do it in race 2. He's got to do it in race 2 this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to figure out my display here so I can look at the lap times as we watch Captain Solo's speed around turn 2.
I'm already on
with
Captain Solo now. Say again?
You want to run through Captain Solo's first lap with us? Just like
oh yeah, sure.
You know, run through the track map. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll go the next lap so you get the full lap.
Yeah. So guys, they got a warm-up lap and then they got 4 flying laps, and they're gonna try to put in their best clean lap. Get a look at Captain Solo's machine right here. His Lamborghini Gallardo. This is the lobby where we want to be. We've got Julian, Zoom, Captain Solo, Aftermath, Genesis, Billy Sue in these lobbies. Lightning is in here as well. And as well as Skyline. So this is the lobby where we want to be at. Definitely want to see where these guys qualify. So.
I mean, qualifying is super important. I mean, this track is super tight, so not a lot of passing opportunities. It's really easy to defend from an overtake. So you really want to get those early positions with qualifying, really. Good qualifying will secure a solid finish in this race, I believe.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a quick run through here on the lap. Coming out of the final turn here, it's really important. A late apex on that turn is going to give you a lot of speed. We saw in the EU race, you know, the arrow on these cars really makes a difference as well going down that straightaway. Coming through that slight left-hander, get on the brakes deep. This is a double apex here in 2A and 2B. You want to drive it in deep and then try to accelerate out as fast as you can. Use up all the curb on the exit. And now here we go through turn number 3. That's as well sort of an early kind of apex. Use up all the curb on the outside. And then you want to just lift through here through 4. This is a quick right-hander. You got to be careful of that grass, or that sand, excuse me, like Captain Solo just did. This is another early apex turn here. This is turn number 5. Then up through this straightaway, I'm gonna go underneath the VP Racing Bridge. This is a tricky turn here. You have to make sure that you keep the car balanced. You can't oversteer on the entry because it'll slide you right into the sand. And this is probably the most difficult part of the track. Brake at the top of the hill, down through the corkscrew. I believe you're going down to turn 1. You want a short shift coming out. Whoa, that's a big slide. And then you want to use
I got lagged there. That was interesting.
Yeah, so did I. You want to make sure you use the banking on the inside through turn number 9 like you saw, through 10, and now we're coming through to turn 11 now. And that's a lap of Laguna Seca. We'll see what Solo put in. A very imperfect lap from him. He needs to have a good night tonight.
Yeah, that's not how he wants to start, but I'm assuming we're going to see his time fall a little bit after that. I'm not too sure what he ran just now.
126.1. So we should be seeing. He's actually up first right now, which is good to see. But I'm expecting.
I've got Lightning in first with a 125.5 already.
I've still got Lightning in second. Might have been Dirty.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, maybe. Oh, now Lightning 25.5.
No, yeah.
On pole right now. What was pole yesterday? I believe a 25.7 was pole for the EU. So
that's correct.
Lightning's already hit 25.5. We saw 25.4 from Roadrunner in race trim yesterday as well.
Billy Sue put in a good lap there with the 125.7. Impressive from him. If he can hold on to that one or improve, it'd be great. Always good to see our boy Billy Sue at the top there.
Yeah, hoping to see Billy Sue do well tonight. You know, he's a driver who he's in that the big 5 here for the U.S. side. Those top guys, you know, with Billy Sue, Venom, Zoom, Force 1, Lightning. He's very consistent. He's been able to stay up in that top 5. And, you know, I'm looking at his stats. Extremely consistent. All right, he's average finishing right now is 4th in each race, which is absolutely incredible. And that, you know, can't do much better than that. But, you know, really consistent from him. I love seeing that. Even, you know, he's got 2 top 5s as well, which is good to see. So, or excuse me, 3 top 5s. Sorry. So I'm expecting him to do well tonight. I really am. I really am expecting Billy Sue to do extremely well. Because I'm hoping to see him do well.
I believe he's running my tune from the looks of things. Just looking at how planned that car is through the corners, it looks like he's using my tune. That's always exciting to see.
Lightning with a 25.4. What a lap time that is. running faster than a Roadrunner yesterday in race trim. Yeah, jeez.
Skyline's also having a good qualifying. He's up in 5th place at the moment. Needs to do a little bit better than that, though, I think. But that's going to solidify him in the top 8 for sure. Solo doing really well as well. He's in the 25s.
He's in 25s. Good to see. He's out qualifying Skyline as well right now. Julian in 8th right now with a 127.1. He's got to pick that up.
Pick the pace up. Yeah.
Definitely got to get it. He's
got that's a dirty 27 as well. That's a dirty 27, by the way, because he's sitting behind Genesis and Aftermath with 28s.
He's got one more lap to do it. Let's hop on board with him.
Let's see.
Let's watch his final lap here.
Definitely using clutch. Those rev bangs through the gears.
Yeah, you definitely need clutch with these cars, I think. Julian hopping up to 6th there, so he did put in a clean lap, which is good. He's going to have to pick up a little bit more pace, though, only at 27 flat. He needs to take advantage of this night tonight. He needs to have a big night tonight if you want to overtake Captain Solo. And Solo putting down the pace right now, doing really well with a 26 flat.
I mean, that's... I think he did it with 25.9. Yeah, that's correct, yeah. I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, that's Julian wide.
Yeah, Julian's... That's his last lap, is it? And
yeah,
it's really gonna hurt him. That's really unfortunate. But you know, as long as he has a really good finish in that reverse grid race, we could see him towards the unseat Captain Solo. I mean, Captain Solo has a bad first round, and then following up with a bad second reverse grid. You never know. You never know. But looks like a lot of luck for Julian is needed to break into that top 8.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna need some help. Here's the thing. He needs to show us tonight in that first race that he can overtake people, because he's going to need to get into a good position, and you know, for the first race, he needs to get into a good position, and then he's got to go in the second race. It's got to be him. He's got to make positions. He's got to get out front, because he needs to do well. And right now his qualifying is not showing it, and that's not a good sign.
No, not looking too good for Julian this round. His series championship hopefuls, well, grand finale hopefuls, really.
Yeah. Alrighty, so thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. My name is GTR Kicker if you're just joining us, and I'm joined by DR Roadkill. So just so you guys, if you guys are new to the channel and haven't been following so far, we're just going to go over a quick, the quick series format. Wow.
It also doesn't look like Billy Susie, my tune. I'm a little bit upset about that now.
Oh, that's
I got excited for a second.
That's sad.
He told me he'd run it. He might run it in race. He said that too, because he said it was more consistent. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see what he does. But series format, so if you guys are not familiar with how this series is run, this is the U.S. side. The top 8 after the 6 rounds in the point standings, including a drop round, will effectively move on to the grand finale at Spa. The EU side raced yesterday night, or last night, or yesterday, whatever you want to say. So their top 8 as well will advance to the finals. There's a $1,000 prize pool. Yeah, so it's good stuff. Let me pull up the standings here real quick. We keep talking about these bubble dryers. If you guys, don't quite understand what we're talking about. We're talking about those guys that are on the border of making it to that top 8. So if you guys look at the point standings right now, GG Racing, Skyline, Solo look pretty comfortable, in 8th, but I mean, that's not a lot of points. Solo's only 13 points ahead of Julian. That's not a ton of points.
Definitely not. That's a very small amount of points, in fact.
Yeah. And even Skyline in 7th, I'd say that everyone above GG Racing looks pretty good, barring any sort of crazy. And I know it's early. It's only this is only round 3 of 6, and it hasn't even happened yet, and we're only looking at the point standings. But you got to feel really good about those top 5. Even GG Racing in 6th. Him being 30-something points above the cut line. 326 to 291. I believe that's 39.
Wait. Who are we talking about?
GG Racing. 30.
GG Racing. Oh, he's 35. Yeah, he's 35.
35. Yeah, 35 points to the good. So that's quite a distance after 2 races. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be secure in that top 8 for sure. That Alien Motorsport driver.
Recent acquisition, doing really good with that new banner. I wonder if that's a tuner on their team. Not too sure, but he's picked up a lot of pace recently. I can only be impressed by that.
For sure, yeah. And he's a guy that we've sort of kept. A lot of people have kept tabs on him, and he's really picked up his pace and consistency recently. We've seen him be able to hot lamp on leaderboards, but a lot of times we've seen his race pace hasn't been there, or he's been inconsistent. Especially watching a couple previous series, and now it looks like it's starting to come a little bit more together. Watching this series as well and seeing how he's progressing, really looks good so far. What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, in fact.
Oh,
I was just gonna have a quick look at what the current, what our lobbies qualifying times were.
Looks like they're sorted, and we've only got 17
25.
drivers. We've only got 17 drivers tonight, so it looks like we will be having
a single
one
lobby.
lobby tonight, which is crazy. So, and the split is massive. It is 6 seconds from 1st to 17th. That is huge.
Oh, Julian's just messaged in the chat. He couldn't get a clean lap.
Oh,
he got one.
Clean lap.
He got a 27 flat, but he couldn't get a clean lap after that. He says his tune's fairly soft. Yeah, so the setup in these cars is super critical. I mean, there's a lot of mechanical understeer, as we said yesterday. It's really difficult to get this car to do what you want to do in a race situation. It does want to oversteer, but it also wants to understeer. And if it oversteers, it's kind of awkward oversteer. It's not kind of oversteer that you want. Sort of just strafe sideways and puts you offline. And the understeer out of that will just put you in the dirt.
Yeah.
Not a great car. So, yeah.
It's not that. It's just it's also a very difficult car to tune correctly, and it's really difficult,
especially what I'm after. Yeah.
And especially on a track like this where you have a lot of elevation changes. The rear end of the car is going to get really light. You're going to lose traction in the rear. It's going to cause that car to slide, especially if you're going into turn 1. You're going up that hill a little bit. There's like a jump right before you start braking, and if you're braking on that, you're going to immediately lock up those brakes because the wheels when they come off the ground aren't going to have any friction acting against them, and they're just going to want to spin really fast, and you're really going to hit a lockup mid-air. So got to make sure that they're only these guys are careful, especially on corner entry. That's where this car really struggles. It's where the all-wheel drive is a little bit difficult. Feels good until you get it wrong.
Yeah, it's a car that inspires a lot of confidence, but it's like a red herring confidence. It's sort of like false confidence. I see Billy Sue in choosing car. I wanted to choose my tune. I want to see that happen. Sorry. So someone's just said the car is tough to point into corners. Exactly that. Exactly that. It is confidence inspiring, but it's false confidence. It misleads you, and then it will punish you for those mistakes. Like, it feels like it can carry a lot of speed mid-corner, but just doesn't want to do it at the same time. I mean, the all-wheel drive, I think, is to blame for a lot of the things that are questionable about the way this car drives. But that only makes it more exciting to race, as everybody is suffering the same sort of conditions. And the tuners in this have to be really on point. Like, your car setup is critical to race pace.
Yeah, it really is, and that's why I think some drivers are having a little bit easier time with the car than others. We know a couple of guys that do have the pace that may not be able to get up there, and maybe that's because of their tune. Here's the thing. I'm looking at the live timing right now. We've got one lobby. Julian, even though he had a bad qualifying lap, he's in 7th. Solo is in 4th. Here's my thing, though. Okay, the problem is the higher you get up the ladder, the better you finish in these races, the more of a gap there is in points. So say Julian and Captain Solo are finishing in that 7th, 8th spot every time. That is going to only equate to, say, a difference in maybe over a course of 4 races, only 13 points. But if they're racing for third, fourth, that's going to equate to like 20, 21 points over a period of 4 races. And those are just figures I'm just spitting out. I'm not actually sure if that's the case. But my point
Examples,
is,
I understand.
Yeah. So my point is, Solo starting 4th. Even if Julian moves up to 5th and Solo finishes 4th, the split there is even larger. So he's going to put himself in more of a hole. He's got to make sure that he tries to get into that area with Captain Solo, and then in that reverse grid, get his way out front and get clear of everyone. That's the key to tonight, because a lot of these guys, like Fat Cat Empire, RD Inferno, WRT Fujiwara, these guys are going to have the guys that aren't normally in that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th spot. Well, they're qualified there right now. So they're going to be racking up a lot of points tonight, and it's definitely not going to be a drop round for them.
Definitely not. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter if they have a bad race. They're still going to have more points than what they usually get, possibly. I mean, you still could finish at the very back, but, I mean, there's a lot of potential for a lot of shakeups in the points leaderboard. I mean, is it 2 rounds to go, or is it 3 rounds to go?
3 rounds to go.
So we've got Suzuka, Nürburgring GP, and
Silverstone is the 5th race. So we've got
Silverstone.
Suzuka,
Yeah,
Suzuka next week, Silverstone, then Nürburgring GP.
Right. So there's plenty of time for them to make up those spots as well. But this is the night that there's not a lot of faster races here. So a lot of the a few of the top guys are not there. So you're right. This is their golden ticket. This is their chance to earn as many points as they can.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you guys, I see a couple of you guys asking, oh, wow, one lobby, what's going on? It's Thanksgiving. People are still away, and that is why we only have 17 people qualifying tonight. And, that's frankly why I couldn't even, commentate yesterday's race. Heard it went really well. So that's good to hear. And,
big shout out to Mellish.
Yeah, big shout out to Mellish as well. Thank you so much for covering. We appreciate that so much. You did a great job, bud. But yeah, so people being away for Thanksgiving, Force One, Venom not being here, that's 2 positions. That's 2 positions extra for everyone. This is a huge night for these drivers that aren't normally in A lobby, because everyone's in A lobby now. Everyone's in A lobby. Even someone like Cerny and a couple of new guys we have here, Wrath and Tears, and that one Outlaw 86. I mean, putting in 28s in 29s. 4 seconds off the pace, sure, but they're getting A lobby points that they normally wouldn't get. So, I mean, this is a big number.
Well, potentially, because if you finish 17th, that's still a B lobby first place.
16th is a B lobby first place.
Is it? Oh,
yeah, because there's usually a 15.
Oh, that's right. It's usually the 16 is Steve. I always forget the pace car.
Yeah. So this is going to be a huge night. I mean, the thing is, like, especially for that winning their region. Okay, with Force One being out, he's going to have to really, really work hard to beat Lightning in this region. And this is huge for Billy Sue and Zoom, who are sitting in 3rd and 5th in the points, because this will be a huge night, because they should essentially, based on the qualifying times, get automatic podiums tonight if nothing else goes wrong.
Correct. I mean, definitely Billy Sue's going to benefit a lot. I mean, Zoom's been up there. He's had a couple podiums. Billy Sue, I don't think he's had a podium yet. Or has he had one?
I think he's had one. Let me check here real quick. Billy Sue has 2 podiums. I know he got one. I know he got a 2nd place last week in the reverse grid at Sebring when Zoom went off after he hit the handbrake.
That's right.
And hit the wall. Zoom and Billy Sue went through, and then Lightning went through, and Zoom ended up finishing 4th. So that's one right there that Billy Sue's got. I don't remember where the other one came. I think it might have been at Road America. Yeah, it had to have, because he finished 5th in race 1 at Sebring.
Okay.
So this is going to be huge for him, because those podium positions, it's 100 for 1st, 95 for 2nd, and 90 for 3rd. Those points, I mean, it's separated a lot, because then it's back to 86 for 4th. So finishing 3rd rather than 5th, it's 90 versus 82. He's going to get, potentially, if nothing goes wrong, he's going to get potentially 8 more points than he normally would tonight, because he's been that 4th and 5th place driver all series.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not to take anything away from him, because the guys in front of him are absolute world-class drivers, but then again, so is he. But what I'm saying is, he has the opportunity here to get points more easily tonight with people missing.
Yeah, freebies, freebies. It's all about the freebies.
Exactly, exactly. So we're gonna have a lobby of 17 tonight.
Look at that safety car livery, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. Thing's pimping. We got 2.
Oh, look at that one. Yellow Cactus looks fantastic.
Yeah, the gold. It's pimping. Yeah.
Martin's got
fresh.
one too. Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I'm loving it.
It's absolutely awesome. I wonder who's gonna be driving the pace car.
I think we should do that for like the final round. Is just have like 3 or 4 pace cars go around looking like that. That'd be great.
That's awesome. All right, we've got people talking a different language in the chat, and I don't know what it says.
Is it Spanish?
I believe it is.
My Spanish is really rusty / non-existent, so you're on your own there, buddy.
I don't know.
Looking good so far.
I just realized I left the series schedule up. Let's take a look at the track map. Sorry for you guys just staring at the schedule. I'm sure you know what the schedule is by now.
Yeah, I've got to ask a question. What is that doodle at the top of the schedule?
Oh, okay. No, that is something in the picture. So, like, when I took the picture
Seriously?
on Forza, yeah, it's like some kind of like bars hanging down from the from the
stadium.
From the stadium. If you guys all see that right up above schedule, there's some bars hanging up there. That's not like Microsoft Paint. Like I didn't.
Does it not look like Microsoft Paint?
It does, doesn't it? It looks like Microsoft Paint, but it's not. It's not. I swear to God.
Looks like you started to draw something and just gave up, and I was like, okay.
No, those are bars in the picture, but yeah.
Awkward turtle.
I was just gonna say, let's take a look at the track map here. So we took you guys through a lap through, on board with Captain Solo. Jason,
yeah.
Jason, you want to go a little bit more in depth about the track? I've got the track map up on screen here. Tell them maybe some opportunities for passing and what we can expect from these cars going through the track.
Yeah, so obviously the best place to pass is turn 1. It's the longest braking zone on the track. You're going really fast to really slow and downhill as well, so the braking zone is even more extended. So whoever's bravest on the brakes into turn 1 and can pull it up in time, mind you, before going into the dirt, they're going to have a great time passing people there. The next best passing zone seems to be turn 5. Although it's pretty dicey, you can't hold a lot of grip on the outside because of the camber of the corner. That's a really good corner. Turn 6 is definitely single file. If you try and go side by side with that through there, it will end in tears, 100%. But you can get a good run on the guy in front of you up into the corkscrew. And we saw a lot of passing there yesterday, which was unexpected. I really didn't think that these cars could go side by side through there that easily, but it was very successful. So after that, you really have to wait till the the final turn at turn 11 to make your best passing point. Turn 10 can happen, but it's really hard to get a good run out of turn 9 there, rainy curve, I think is what it's called. Yeah. And you can't get a good run into turn 10 and maybe make a pass there, but basically turn 2 or turn 1, whatever you want to call it, as turn 1 is flat out and I hate calling those things turns. But turn 2, turn 5, turn 7 throughout the corkscrew, turn 10 and turn 11 are your points to watch out for passing.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't consider the corkscrew a place to pass. Tell
that to the guys yesterday.
I was gonna say I've been in community racing where I've made passes going into the corkscrew, and it's not that you make the pass in the corkscrew; it's that you make the pass going into the corkscrew. The thing is, a lot of people will run wide on that previous
entry.
turn 5. Well, no, not even that. Even the previous turn 5.
Yeah.
And they'll cross the sand, and then they'll get a poor run going down that straight up the hill. And then the other thing is, so that'll allow you to get to the inside, and then a lot of times they'll just bail out if you've got the position because like I don't want to go too far through the corkscrew. The other thing is, if you get a run on them again, you might be able to outbrake them. A lot of people will get scared and brake early or earlier than they need to, and the braking line is deceiving going into there. You can actually brake a lot deeper into the braking line than you really think if you're running it. And then if people are scared on the brakes because it's a blind corner, you're going uphill. And you have to trust that your braking
blind
point is
braking
correct.
zone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
So
can't
a lot
spot
of
the
people are
apex
gonna
as you're hitting those brakes.
Yeah, exactly. So people are going to be braking early as well. So that's a key spot to pass in addition to turn 1. I think turn 1 is another one. We're going to see dive bombs.
Oh, big time. Lap 1. We saw a lot of carnage on lap 1 into the turn 1 or turn 2. However you want to dictate that one. But yeah, a lot of carnage there because people are not ready to brake in that first corner, and there's cars covering your braking line. It's difficult to get slowed down through there, especially when you're going 2-3 wide. Changes your braking points all over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That for carnage, lap 1.
And it's a double apex turn 2. Well, essentially it's turn 2, but I mean we're gonna end up calling it turn 1, like a lot.
Mellish called it turn 1 all yesterday.
Really is.
He totally ruined me for it.
It really is turn 1, but I don't know why it's turn 2. But here's the thing. It's a double apex turn. So a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll trail brake into that first part of it. And that'll allow for dive bombs. That will allow for you know, as the dive bomber to be able to trail brake on the inside, pull out, try to hit that early apex before the car that you're trying to pass does. And then you've got the run out because then you are on the inside and you can pivot your car the way you want to and even force them out wide if you want to on exit.
Absolutely. I mean, the run out of turn 2 is critical. Like you can get a lot of passes done on the second apex of turn 2, so turn 2B. For sure. If you can follow someone through the first apex, you can get a cutback on them for turn 2B. That's where a lot of passes happen as well. Absolutely.
Right. Exactly. So it looks like we're almost ready to go. We've got 3 pace cars and 2 spectators in the lobby for a total of 22 people. I
want to see 3 pace cars out front. I'm so excited.
I don't know if we'll have
I'm so excited
pace cars out front.
I want 3 pace cars out front. Can we convey that to Steve? Steve, are you listening? Steve,
yeah,
3 pace cars, please.
Yeah, apparently we want 3 pace cars, but apparently they are going on the next full minute after
formation.
Yeah. So they're going on the next full minute after the pace car crosses the start finish line. So if they're all set in their grid spots and the pace car crosses at 4 minutes 20 seconds, which it won't be.
Pace cars
apparently. Well, now here's the thing: is it going to be the first pace car or the last pace car? Are they going off of
the last? They're gonna cross at the same time. It's gonna be the next full minute after the last one
That's
crosses.
True. Yeah, that's true. Pace lap should only take about a little less than 2 minutes, I believe, on this track because it is so short. Another thing to note as well, this is the final week of tracks that don't have dynamic weather. So we did not have dynamic weather at Road America. We had it at Sebring, and then we didn't have it at Laguna Seca. The next 3 tracks, Suzuka, Silverstone, and Nürburgring GP, all have our dynamic, realistic weather that we've implemented for this series.
I'm excited about that. I really like that. So if you guys didn't already know, the dynamic weather is sorted by what the real life weather is at that location, at that time, roughly. So if you look at the weather reports in real life at those locations, you'll get a good idea of what the weather's going to be like. So pro tip from Roadkill right here.
Yeah, and just because it's a dynamic weather track doesn't mean that it won't be a daytime race. I mean, it's very possible that, you know, we could have a dynamic weather, but then it's like, oh, it's perfectly sunny, like 0 chance of rain. Boys, have at it, you know? Dry track, Silverstone, let's go. You know, like.
Yeah, you said daytime. I was concerned there. I was like, don't tell me you're gonna put night races into this.
No. I meant the day rain condition is what I meant. Not rain condition, but the day, like day.
Yeah, you mean a dry track. You mean dry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is, like, yeah, we're on the same page. The thing is, like, at Sebring, we saw it was a dry track. Yeah, it was a dry track at Sebring, but it was. You know, the first race in qualifying, we saw a second slower because the track was looming clouds. It was set to that rain setting, but it was the looming cloud setting. So the track was dry, but it was just slower. It had
the track temperature was lower. Yeah,
exactly. You had a lot less grip on the track, so it was you just weren't as fast. So
and you saw how like the different temperatures and a bit of even when it's like slightly rained through that second race, the reverse grid, that slight rain really affected the setup of the cars. Like a lot of guys were saying that once it started raining, their cars picked up pace because they had set it up for a wet race.
Exactly.
So you really have to be on top of the weather, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is that decided the race last week. Last week, in race number 2, Force 1 was happy. We interviewed Force 1 after the race. He said he was happy to see it rain. His car came in when it was raining. He maintained and even extended the gap a little bit during that mid-race point. But once it stopped raining, his car didn't handle as well. Zoom's car was set up well for the rain. Started reeling him in about laps 7 to 10, 8 to 10, 9 to 10. going on that last lap, he was there, and that's how much a setup can play host in this race. Like, this is going to be, well, not this race specifically, but in the next few weeks. It could be the difference between you making a place up or not, depending on how your car is set up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I'm really disappointed. It looks like we're not going to have 3 pace cars.
That's sad, yeah.
I wanted to see Yellow Cactus's car go around. That thing's pimp.
It is. I wanted to see. I don't remember what I wanted to see. I forgot already. Well, it looks like we're ready to go.
We're getting ready to go here. Yeah.
So we're going to take you guys through the grid. You guys can see the guys that are starting here. Tonight could be a big night for Fujiwara, too. He's 31 back on the cutoff. Can he have a good night tonight and close that gap a little bit? We'll see. Remember, there is a drop round, so the guys that aren't racing, it's not like tonight it's not like they're going to miss anything. You know what I mean? They have a drop round, so they're using this as their drop round. But it does set them back because then they can't really make any more mistakes throughout the series. That's the big key.
They can't have a bad round from here on out. Yes, but at the same time, it's just going to allow those people behind them to catch up. So, I mean, it does hurt them in a way, but not too much. Not too much.
All right,
and
Jason, you want
to... Racing's... Oh, you want me to start off? Sure.
I was gonna say, yeah. Why don't you start us off here? We've got we got a new pace car livery this week as well. You can see the DOR Racing livery, and Jason's gonna take us through the first 4 drivers on the grid.
Right. So in pole position and earning himself 2 fantastic points for his efforts is TX3 Lightning. Great livery there, and our series leader, I believe. Closely followed by one of his rivals from the FRC, Sauber Zoom, and former teammate, mind you. I just realized that it was former TX3 123 here. With really sitting in 3rd. So you know those guys are fast. Followed closely by Sauber's teammate, or Zoom's teammate, FRF Captain Solo, sitting in 4th place. We did had a great qualifying actually, and that's going to help him a lot.
He really did have a good qualifying.
His 8th position. Yeah.
Starting in the 5th position is THR Skyline. Had a rough week last week. Looking for him to have a sort of a revenge week this week. Starting in the 6th position is AMS GG Racing. Driver so far securely in the top 8. And then starting 7th is TUS Julian. Driver went on the bubble, looking to make up some points. Starting in the 8th position is Fat Ken Empire. Privateer.
One of our only privateers, I believe.
Yeah.
Behind him, in that great Turtle Beach livery, I really like it, is RD Inferno. Someone we haven't seen too much of. Following him in 10th position is... Oh, I've got the pace car. Thanks very much, Martin, for parking there and totally messing me up. WRT Fujiwara, running our great off-the-track livery. Sponsor that guy. That guy's great. Shout out to Fujiwara for that one. And in 11th, we have AMR Genesis. And in 12th, someone we haven't seen before is the Outlaw A6. Or that one Outlaw, because I can't read.
Yeah, and just taking you guys through the rest of the field, CC Cerny in 13th. 14th is I Wicked on Mixer. 15th is AMR Aftermath. 16th, Mechanics, former CC driver. And 17th is Wrath and Tears. And someone new that we have not seen. So here we go. I'm going to hop on board with TUS Julian and getting ready to go here. Here we go. This is going to be very, very important for these drivers tonight. It's going to be a huge night. You can hear the engines revving. And they're off. Solo doesn't go. Solo does not go at all. Billy Sue with a bad start as well. Skyline's going to squeeze his way through. We've got 4 wide. Fujiwara looking to make it. Going into turn 1. You can see the smoke as well. Lock up. Billy Sue sideways. There's a bunch of contact. This is really bad for Solo. Solo is all the way in the back. Oh, all the way back to 9th. He's all the way back to 9th. We're on board with Julian, who's going to get pushed off.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what a start.
Are we restarting? No, that was just the safety car leaving? Okay, cool. Just making sure that we were actually on go. I did say watch out for carnage in turn 1.
This is terrible for Julian.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely terrible for Julian.
My heart bleeds for him, man. That's not the way you want to start your race, especially when you're on the bubble like that.
On board here with FRF Captain Solo as Skyline gets a little squirrely going into the dirt here, out of the corner. Wow. So far that is the story of the race. Is, you know, oh man, it looked like Julian was in prime position. He was in fourth. He had it coming together with Fujiwara, and they both got sent off the track. Now he's so far behind.
He's going to have to really work hard to try and make up as many positions as he can, get as many points as he can for this round, and hopefully he can have a better reverse grid race, cut through the pack, get himself some clean air, and see if he can finish in the top few drivers for the next race, and just see if he can squeeze out. I don't know if he's going to be able to out-point score Captain Solo, who's in 6th right now, though. That's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, he's got to outscore him through the night. So if there's a lot of drivers in this lobby. So if he can, you know, even if he finishes like 9th or 8th and starts a couple positions ahead of Captain Solo, you know, it'll be, I'm losing my train of thought. It'll be good. It'll provide him an opportunity to be able to get up front and maybe capitalize on some points here.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for him to do that, but speaking of people who are on the bubble, Fat Cat Empire is all the way up into 7th place, which is great for him.
Yeah, really good for him.
He was in too much of a position to like unseat anybody in the top 8, so
this could be a big round
nonetheless. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it could be a big round for him to be able to close in on some points here. I think he's 49 out, or 55 out, or something like that. So that's good to see. Right now, I am on board with Sauber Zoom. We have a battle for the lead as he's stalking Lightning here on lap number 3. A slide out of turn 9.
Yeah, we expect these guys to be at the front pretty much every race. Oh, as he goes wide there. Billy Sue trailing not too far behind into the final corner here. Oh, wow. Billy Sue closing up under brakes there. Fantastic driver. I didn't get to see if he was running my livery or not. I mean, tune.
Oh, you should have.
I should have checked. Yeah, I'll check after the race. Skyline having a great start here, but he's well off Billy Sue right now. He's got himself in a nice little bubble there. Lots of clean air.
Coming into turn number 2, so you can see a double apex right here from Captain Solo as Gigi goes wide into the sand. Here, the top 6 drivers right now, they've really separated themselves. Fat Cat Empire, you know, I'm really impressed with Fat Cat Empire right now. Look at him almost keeping pace with these guys right now. He's just stalking as these guys are battling for 5th.
Well, if they keep battling, he might have a chance to catch up and make up some more positions, and that could be critical for him. These guys are on the bubble. Both AMS GG Racing and Captain Solo are right there on that 8th position. So if he can make up some positions there, he could be in a good spot, actually.
Exactly. Skyline looking like he's getting a little bit away here. You know, putting down the pace, looking really good. Captain Solo and GG Racing coming into the corkscrew now.
Yeah, Skyline. Oh. Yeah, Skyline actually having some good luck for once. It's gonna be great for him.
Well, he's normally around that 7th and 6th position. He's up to 4th right now because, you know, we got a couple of guys that aren't here, which is really great for him. And it should be a huge night for him. Should help him be able to sort of secure his spot in that top 8 as well. And I am very cold. I'm in a very cold place right now. That is why I'm losing my train of thought. Shivers.
Yeah, you sound broken. Sauber Zoom dipping into the 25.4s, so he's right on top right now. Must be gaining on Lightning, I think.
He's 9
Lightning's pulling away.
Off.
Never mind.
Yeah, he's 9/10 off right now.
Well, that is a little bit disappointing.
Let's check back here, see if there's any other battles. Fujiwara in 9th. Julian has made his way back up to 10th. He's got a little bit of a distance to
Fujiwara there?
Fujiwara, yeah, thank you. Going back through the field, I mean, not too much of a battle anywhere else. These guys are sort of spread themselves out. Really spread out now. Looks like we got a couple groupings here. I think that's 3-4 and then 5-6. Let's head up to that.
Whoa. Sauber zooms into 3rd.
Oh, he must have gone off. He's got Skyline all over him now. That's Billy Sue in a 2nd. Oh, that's Skyline, really wide.
The mechanical understeer that we were talking about. If you get on the accelerator at the wrong time, you can just shoot off into the dirt. You really got to be careful of that one.
Gigi's back here stalking now. He's looking for an opportunity. These guys are still a bit split out.
Yeah, I mean, I love being split out too, but I think that's to do with Laguna Seca here, that the track is just so narrow, there's not much room for battling, so you can't really catch up to the guys in front because they're not making moves on other guys in front of you. So you know what I mean? Like, they're not bunching up with battling, so you kind of just get stuck lapping by yourself. One of the guys at the back of the pack there.
A bit wide there.
Oh, Solo with the big sim twitch. Sorry, I just had to point that one out. There's not too much going on.
Yeah, there's really not a lot going on, but I'm just stalking here with Gigi. He's looking threatening. Zooms put the pace back down. You know, pulled away from Skyline. I wonder if he's going to be. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch Billy Sue. Billy Sue's 2.5 back from his teammate TX3 Lightning. GG Racing is looking for a spot here at the halfway point to try to get by Skyline for that 4th spot. And Solo is just stalking back there.
Yeah, he's made a good recovery since his big sim twitch out of the kink there. And I think this is going to be the main battle of the race. These guys are really similar pace.
Do we have a lag out? No, we did not. Okay, we did not. Sorry.
No,
Julian's up to 10th. Fujiwara is in 9th. Fat Cat Empire still holding himself down in that 7th position, which is really good to see.
He's got himself a lot of clean air. 3 seconds to the front, 4 seconds to behind. Running all by himself, I think.
GG looking to make a move. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn number 5 here from Skyline. GG's all over the back bumper now. He's looking to make a move. Dips those 2 wheels onto the curb. Gives him a tap going into 6. Both look really strong right now. Up over the hill. Coming into the corkscrew now. GG looks up. He thought about it. He thought about the move. Just a little far back.
What GG needs to do is get the run through that kink. Instead of being right on Skyline's tail into the kink, where you can't get a run because he's right in front of you, you've got no room to breathe. You got to give him a little bit of space and set him up for that run into the corkscrew. That's what he's got to do. He needs to learn from that mistake and try something different next time.
Yeah, he did reel him in. Late on the brakes from GG. Doesn't quite hit the apex right on the money there as Skyline did. Skyline's going to have the speed down the straightaway. We'll see if the guys have different setups.
I'd say they would.
Close. In terms of the arrow, wiggling on brakes. Good line from Skyline through there. Really good line from Skyline through that turn.
Oh,
wide from GG.
He's got to tighten it up. He's got to maintain his composure there.
He's got the pace. He can get there. But these guys look like they're locked on the hip right now for this position. Look at Solo back there. He's not losing touch yet. These guys all look very similarly paced tonight here at Laguna Seca. If GG can just try to get side by side with Skyline, that's going to be the key for Solo to come up there because he knows that Julian's coming up through the field now, and he's got to make sure that he keeps in front of him.
Yeah, I don't think Julian's going to be able to make that much ground up. He's got some good races in between him and Solo, so and he's going to have to be looking for that second reverse grid round to make up those points.
Oh, Solo's still back there.
Well, Solo to have an accident. I think sim damage is on tonight, so any big crashes will result in damage and probably unscheduled pit stop.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to pit here. Coming through the field here, we're going to take a look at a couple of drivers. Lightning is your leader. He has a 3.5 second lead over second place TX3. Billy Sue, his teammate. Virtual drivers by TX3, locking out the podium position, the top 2 podium positions here. Excuse me, not starting, but currently in 3rd is Sauber Zoom. Must have had some kind of mistake here, unfortunately for him. But these guys are all really spread out. And then we've got our battle here for 4th. This is Skyline GG Racing and Captain Solo lurking back there. It looks like Fat Cat Empire's really fallen off there in 7th.
Is that lap traffic? I think lap traffic might come into play here, dude. I think that's going to be an interesting factor tonight with the one lobby and a huge gap in times. We might see some lap traffic come into play.
It'll be very interesting if something happens with the leader and lap traffic.
Actually, speaking of, Lightning is coming up on the back of somebody. They're just going down the front straight now, and he's going onto it, so he's not too far off.
Wrath and Tears. Oh, that's a good line from GG Racing coming out of 11 or 14. Is it 11? There's 11 turns here. I think there's 11 turns here.
I think there's 11. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But Skyline seems to have the top end there. As he pulled out of that corner, you really saw him just gap GG by just a couple of feet, and that's enough to like dissuade GG Racing from going for a dive into turn 2 or turn 1.
Skyline's just hitting his marks right now. He's not giving these guys an opportunity, but Solo has caught them now. Solo's looking threatening as well. Wide from a couple of these guys. It's going to scrub a little bit of speed here. This is a key turn. You got to make sure that you carry as much momentum as you can. Not do what Solo and GG Racing just did and dip their wheels on the sand. That's going to really compromise your exit.
The sand on this track is really buggy. It will just suck your speed right out of you. Just bleed it right off. Really frustrating at the same time as being great for racing. Going to be laser precise. This is the run that I was talking about. GG's got it.
Oh, Skyline goes defensive. You can see it. He moved to the left side of the track. Now GG's going to take a wider entry. That's a good line from GG. It's a really good line.
Skyline gets a better run through the corkscrew though.
Oh, that's a slide. Oh, a twitch. Oh, that was his opportunity. And now he's falling into the clutches of Captain Solo for the 5th position. GG, bad line through there. He's going to get a poor run.
Solo not with a great run either, though. GG's going to keep him at bay into turn 2.
It looks like GG's running a lot more aero than these guys. You can see it. Even Solo's maintaining and closing that gap a little bit to GG.
And these cars super unstable sometimes, so maybe he's just trying to help that with that setting.
Lap 11 of 14 here, 3.5 laps to go now. Lightning is your leader, commandingly. And while
Lightning's
we're talking
catching that back marker right now, yeah.
Is he really? Yeah, okay. Speaking of the cutoff drivers, you know, we've got a lot of drivers on the cutoff line, and I'm going to pull up an overlay that you guys will see in the next couple of weeks as well. Here on your left, this is the cutoff line. You'll see on the scrolling down at the bottom of your screen are the numbers of the cutoff drivers, and this is the current standings right now without a drop round as Solo goes sideways. So we'll be using this a lot more going into the next couple of rounds. It'll be all more important for especially these drivers here to try to make it into that final. Hope you guys enjoy that for the next couple of weeks. But right now, guys,
saying lap traffic.
Out.
That battle that we were just watching is catching Wrath and Tears right now. He just let Saber Zoom go. He got a little bit of a tussle with TX3 Lightning there. He got punted into the corkscrew. I think Lightning wasn't anticipating such early braking. So, a bit interesting.
Good line from Solo through turn 2. And GG's in the grass. GG's not going to go defensive. Oh, Solo should have thrown it there. Giving him a little bit of a tap on exit.
GG's losing touch with Skyline there. He's really got to put his head down and run some clean laps. Then he's got 2 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to do anything about it unless this back marker gets into play.
Is that back marker in front of Skyline right now? Is that who that is?
Yes, that's a back marker in front of Skyline, yep.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
It's getting really awkward up.
He's on the left side of GG Racing going into the corkscrew. He's got his nose. Oh, and he lets off. He doesn't want to do it. Oh, but GG's going to give him the space. And here comes the back marker into play. Oh, and he safely stays off the track as Solo gets the move done. Solo gets the move done, and GG's sliding. What a
Solo
move
with that
from
patience.
Solo.
Absolutely. GG Racing's going to be really upset with that. He's going to try and fight back pretty hard.
2 laps remaining here in this race. Lightning, your leader. Billy Sue second. Zoom third. Skyline fourth. You're on board with Captain Solo right now in fifth. GG Racing, now who you're looking at, is in the 6th position. Wants that spot back.
That back marker really made it awkward through that corkscrew, trying to go 3 wide, sort of. He was off the track a little bit, but tried to give them as much space as he could. But yeah, being a back marker is pretty tough when these guys come blitzing through like that.
Yeah, he did a good job though getting out of the way as well. You never want to ruin somebody's race or interfere, you know, while you're being a lap car.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when the stakes are this high.
Yeah, unless someone makes a huge mistake here. It looks like this is going to be their finishing order. You can see Skyline just getting into its rhythm now. Doing a good job. Oh, GG. Off in the... I thought that sand was about to suck him into the tire wall, to be honest. Looked like that's where he was
headed. That can happen. Yeah, that's what we were talking about at the start of this race. GG just needs to work on that consistency. He's got the pace. He qualified well. He had a good start. But it's just that consistency throughout the race, and that side-by-side action was pretty awkward from him, I've got to say. He didn't quite make the most of his positioning. I don't know. Yeah. He really just seems to lack there. Like, his pace is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that consistency and that race etiquette, or well, not really that race etiquette, but that race craft that we're looking for. Yeah, for sure. As you can see, he's starting to lose touch with Solo. Solo, what a recovery from him, because we enter the final lap now. You know, he got pushed off wide. He fell all the way back to 9th or 10th after that first turn. And he's climbed his way all the way back up to 5th. GG's off again. That's a lot of off for him. He's been eating dirt all day. Well, I think Captain Solo has really secured his spot in the top 8 there. So is Skyline with his great finish right now. Yeah, it's Julian not having the best race. He's finishing 9th here. Just a couple positions back from 5th place Solo and 6th place GG Racing. Fujiwara up to 8th as well. So looks like somebody went off. Yeah, it looks like RD Inferno went off there, allowing Julian and Fujiwara to catch up and pass. For sure. Well, Lightning coming through turn 9 now. This is going to be his first win of the season, as he has not achieved that top step on the podium until now, as he's coming through turn number 11 here at Laguna Seca for the final time here in race number 1. TX3 Lightning takes the win for the first time this season. Billy Sue second. Zoom third. I believe Skyline's going to come home in 4th position. And rounding at your top 5 is going to be FRF Captain Solo. Impressive performance from Solo. Solid effort from GG Racing. Want to see some more experience come out. I mean, he just seems really green as far as it comes to like positioning and where he wants to make a move. I don't know, maybe he needs to practice with other drivers in the lobby. I'm not too sure. Just something to get his rhythm right and his consistency good, and just his battle tactics. His battle tactics when he comes into close proximity with other drivers seems to suffer. Yeah, for sure. Would like to see him sort of a little bit more improved, but you know, nonetheless, still a good performance coming in 6th, where he normally seems like he's been floating around in that 6th position. But tonight was a good opportunity for him to gain a couple more points than he normally does. He didn't do it. I'd say he's sort of letting us down right now. I want to see him get up there in that top, and hopefully we can see some of that racecraft prove us wrong. I want to see him prove us wrong in the second race. Show us that he's got the maneuverability and the consistency to come through the field now and get a fantastic finish in race number 2 in the reverse grid. Yeah, he really needs to settle down and not eat so much dirt on those exits. He's really got to be careful on that throttle. But good job from, just forgot who it is, Fat Cat Empire finishing in 7th place, followed up closely by Fujiwara, 8th. And yeah, 9th, TOS Julian, RD Inferno, AMR Aftermath, that one Outlaw in 12th, iWicked Mixer in 13th, iWicked On Mixer, sorry, CC Cerny in 14th place, and Mechanics in 15th, following up with AMR Genesis and Wrath and Tears in final place. Your backmarker that played such a critical moment in that battle between GG Racing and Captain Solo. So some fantastic screen time for Wrath and Tears there. He's going to be starting on pole for the next race. And that's going to be interesting into turn 2 or 1 in the reverse grid.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what he does from the pole position. He's going to have to get a good start, and he's going to have to get through turn 1. He's going to end up being, as Miller said, the cork in the bottle for a while. It doesn't look like he's going to have the pace to stay up front, but
he might just let people through too. You never know.
It's very possible. I think there was someone else that was in the 30s. I mean, you saw that Lightning was coming up on Genesis and another driver there at the end. So you never know with these guys up at the front. The gap is so large that it's just going to be really difficult to tell what's going to happen. I'm anticipating, hopefully, that we don't have to restart, but I have a feeling that we're going to have a restart the first time. I feel like those guys at the front might be breaking a little too early. The
potential restart is real. Yeah, for real. That I just saw that Billy Sue didn't run my tune.
That's sad.
Yeah, I'm sad. Here I was thinking I knew what I was doing. Nope.
Yeah. GG Racing just said that his tune was so bad. Speaking of tunes, inconsistent tune definitely proves difficult to drive, especially on a handling course like this.
Very technical.
Yeah, exactly. And tunes play a huge role in this race, especially here.
Hey, GG. Try my tune.
Maybe he's talking about your tune right now. Maybe he has your tune on.
I don't think he does.
Yeah. Next week is going to be a very interesting race at Suzuka because you've got that first section that's going to provide some very interesting racing. Nowhere to pass, but the car's going to get a little squirrely through there if they're not keeping the car steady and stable on the track through those S's.
I wouldn't say there's nowhere to pass, but it's going to be very
sector.
difficult in the same car. Oh yeah, first sector is single file.
Yeah,
sure. It's all about going to be getting those runs through 130R into that final braking zone. I guess we'll see a lot of passing there. Or Spoon. Spoon seems to be a pretty popular one to go side by side in. If you can get the run out of the hairpin there in Suzuka.
Yeah.
And of course, the hairpin itself. That's probably one of the longest braking zones on that course, besides turn 1. Suzuka's an interesting track. I'm looking forward to racing, seeing these guys race there. I love that track. You know I do.
Oh yeah, I know you do. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think it provides some good racing for sure. My favorite one. I'm looking forward to is Silverstone. I love Silverstone. It's a GT car and a GT track, and it's just
these are all GT
absolute,
tracks. What are you talking about?
That's true, actually. But I love Silverstone. I love the way it flows, and it's gonna be great for this car. This car is built for that track.
Silverstone's gonna be great racing. I think Nürburgring GP is gonna be like the passing track. We're gonna see a lot of battling on Nürburgring GP. A lot of braking zones, a lot of technical sections.
Exactly. Schumacher is going to be hectic as well at that track as well. But let's not rule out Laguna Seca. We're going to have a very interesting race here in race number 2. And Captain Solo for the race start. It's when the pace car crosses the start finish line as he comes through he's going to come through you guys like he does. And then when he crosses the finish line, it's on the next full minute. So say he comes across the line at 4 minutes and 35 seconds, you're going to go on 5 minutes. So that is what the race start is.
I'm looking forward to this.
Like, yeah.
Rubbing my paws together right now.
Yeah. I need to do that too because my hands are cold.
I'm sweating, man. I got a fan on me, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but I'm not turning it off. It is so blazing hot here.
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, good. As long as you can't hear it. Like my back is disgusting. Just so you know.
I don't think the viewers want to hear about how nasty you're.
No, they do. They do.
No.
I can tell it. I can tell they do.
Anyways, so let's give you guys a quick rundown of the starting order for the next race. We're going to have Raph and Tears, your back marker, on pole position. AMR Genesis starting 2nd, Mechanics 3rd, Cerny 4th, Wicked on Mixer 5th. That one Outlaw 86 in 6th position.
Wow, actually
7th,
counting them. Wow. Yeah. You couldn't count on your head or anything. You had to count them out loud.
7th is AMR Aftermath. 8th is going to be RD Inferno. And then starting in the 9th position is your bubble drivers coming up through. 9th is going to be TUS Julian. 10th, Fujiwara, another bubble driver. 11th, Fat Cat Empire with a fantastic finish in 7th in the previous race. 12th, GG Racing. 13th, FRF Captain Solo. 14th, Skyline. 15th, Salberzoon. 16th, Billy Sue. And starting 17th in the very last position is a race 1 winner, TX3 Lightning. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting with the large split in the lobby.
I mean, we always like to see close racing throughout the field, but these back markers are going to add a new element to this race. And it's not something we see a lot of in this series. I mean, it's the first time I've seen a back marker in this series, I believe.
Yeah, aside from multi-class racing, I don't think I've ever really encountered a back marker in a series. You normally will see them in a more endurance race series. You won't see them in the sprint format. These races are about 20 minutes long, so you won't really normally see that in these kind of sprint format series.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So something unique.
Or like all races with like a pit stop, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're breaking records here. We're breaking records in this series.
We're providing new content, so enjoy that, guys.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot to talk about mid-race or between races.
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, I mean, we've talked about the guys in the bubble, and this is the race where, you know, you guys will start to see the drop round come in as well on the actual forums. It's taking place. If you guys log on to the EU, you will see that the drop round has come into place. So Velace Racers has 397 points because his third race, this week at Laguna Seca, he didn't score as many points as his first 2 races. So he is, it's only counting 2 rounds, even though they've only raced 3. But yeah, the EU. Let's shift gears to the EU real quick because I wasn't here yesterday, and I'd love to talk about some of these guys.
Sure.
The EU side for that cutoff line is absolutely insane right now, especially with the drop round. Look at this. So I don't have a graphic up for you guys, but just check this out. Wolfs is in 7th position with 308. Lawrence is on the mark, 300 points. In 8th position. He is the guy everyone is chasing. 9th through 13th are within 29 points of Lawrence. You've got Hamish, HCR Hamish with -18 back. HCR Cerberus, 19 points back. And then you've got Warwick, Floffel, and Hyasa, all the GTR drivers, 21, 26, and 29 points back from that 8th spot. So it's tight. It is very, very tight for that transfer spot.
Extremely tight. That bubble on the EU side is fiercely contested.
So, and the guys that are in the clear as of right now, I mean, Racers is your championship leader in the EU by 37 points over Roadrunner right now. Racers had the perfect week at Sebring, winning both races. And then he also had a race 1 win a race 2 win at Road America, and a 2nd place as well. The man has 5 wins on the season. He got 4 wins in 6 races on the EU side. 4 wins in 6 races, including 4 in a row. Incredible what he's doing right now.
A lot of races for races. Sorry, I had to. I'm terrible.
And we only have 2 different winners. We only have 2 different winners in the EU side as well. Roadrunner's got the other 2 wins. So those guys really dominating. But
he actually missed that Sebring round, did he not?
Roadrunner did, yes. He did miss the Sebring round.
Allowing racers to take those wins.
Exactly. So and GTR Renowned is up in the 4th position as well. Great seeing my GTR teammate up there. 2, 3, and 4 are only separated by 7 points in the EU. So it's very tight for those 2, 3, 4 positions, but the only one that matters in the region is first. That's where you get the money. That's where you get the money.
You want to be number 1. If you ain't first, you're last. I mean, that's an American thing, but EU applies.
Yep. So, yeah. So that's a little bit of a recap on EU. just saw a message from Delta Honda Racing saying that TUS Julian, WRT Fujiwara, and Fat Cat Empire are fighting for that top 8 position. Essentially, yeah. If you take a look at the standings again, you know, Fat Cat Empire is in 11th position right now, with 242 points. I don't know how many points he's back. It's quite a ways back from 55 points back from Captain Solo, and Solo finishing, you know, 5th in the last race obviously isn't going to help. Nope. But this is the race. This is the race that these guys have the opportunity.
Julian starting in, ooh, wow, he started up much higher than I thought he would, or much further back from the front than I thought he would. I guess with a 17-car lobby instead of a 15-car lobby, there's a few more cars. But, I mean, if he can get through those first top few guys who are starting at the front of this grid, get himself in some clean air, you know, he might have a good chance at scoring some serious points and making his play for, like, the top 8.
Yeah.
Certainly in contention.
He needs to have, you know, anything can happen in this race with those guys up front, man. It is going to get crazy.
Without a doubt.
This is a full reverse grid. This is a full reverse grid. So.
It's going to make things pretty spicy. As you said, the gap between the Lightning and I think it was Wrath and Tears is over 6 seconds, which is an extreme gap. A gap over 2 seconds is quite a lot. So,
exactly.
Interesting.
All right, here comes our lovely pace car, and Jason, why don't you take us through the field for the first couple of guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So in first place, it is your fantastic back marker with that. It's actually a really nice livery, really clean.
I feel bad saying, yeah, it's a nice livery. I feel bad keep calling him the back marker. That's not cool.
I don't. He was a back marker. That's what he did.
He was.
Oh well. Anyway,
hopefully he's not a back marker.
Wrath and Tears in first place. Yeah, well, probably not. Yeah, so Wrath and Tears in first place, followed closely by AMR Genesis. A very consistent B-Lobby top finisher, I think. B-Lobby contender, either way. Followed by Mechanics in third place. And CC Cerny in fourth place.
Can you
go
through
VSR livery there? Are you going to go through the whole thing?
Just go through the next 4. I got to do something really quickly.
Sure, no worries.
Thanks,
Following
bud.
him is I Wicked on Mixer with a classically Mixer livery. Following him is in 6th place is That One Outlaw, 86. And AMR Aftermath in 7th place. RD Inferno in 8th. And then our one to watch TUS Julian in 9th place. Following him is another one to watch on the bubble is WRT Fujiwara. Oh, in 10th place. You want to take over from here?
I can do the rest. Okay. It's all good. Appreciate it.
No worries,
Starting
man,
11th. Starting in 11th is Fat Cat Empire, one of the surprise drivers from the first race. Really impressed with his performance there. Starting in 11th. 12th, GG Racing, losing out to Captain Solo there at the towards the end of that race. He's not going to be happy about that, looking to make his way through the field. Starting 13th is FRF Captain Solo. 14th is THR Skyline. He started to put down the pace towards the end of that race. Really good job from him. Starting 15th is going to be Salber Zoom, finishing 3rd, your bottom step podium driver in the first race. And then starting in the back, 16th and 17th, your virtual by TX3 virtual drivers by TX3 drivers. That's not weird at all. Billy Sue and your race 1 winner, TX3 Lightning. Let's hop on board with TUS Julian, starting in 9th again. Get a good angle of the guys.
Oh my goodness.
Up front.
Just watching how Sabazubi is heating his tires. He's just really causing havoc for the other TX3 drivers. Oh well, that was amusing. All right, on board with Julian for the race start. Let's go.
So subpar performance from him. Hopefully we can see a little bit better, performance from him, and maybe he can make up some of those points. Let's see, how far is Captain Solo back? You can see Captain Solo right there, right behind Fat Cat Empire, a couple rows back. So looking
I think he is right behind Fat Cat Empire, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he is right behind
Cat between him.
Empire. Yeah.
Are you sure? I'll check. No, you got Captain Solo there, dude.
That's what I'm talking about, Captain Solo. I'm talking about Captain Solo right behind.
Oh God, I thought you were talking about Zoom. Ah, goodness me.
No.
That's my 21 hours of no sleep bleeding through.
Alrighty, well, here we go. Race number 2. I mean, I would assume that we're waiting a couple more seconds here before the race start. So we're going in the next full minute. He probably crossed the line at like 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So we're probably waiting a full minute. But
it looks like we're revving up.
I hear engines revving now, and there's a start. Aftermath doesn't get going, and neither does mechanics. Julian, look at this start from Julian, all the way up in that 4th spot. Oh, and we got a car around. That's like mechanics going around. Fujiwara away on the outside, knocking it back and forth. Looks like they make it through. Contact. Oh, Julian has a tap on AMR Genesis, and he's wide. And Julian is your leader. Julian is your leader after 3 turns.
Yeah, I mean, we did say that was going to be pretty interesting into turn 2 there. Julian doing a great job getting himself into some clean air. Let's see if he can gap some of this field and make a move. Maintain some positions and make up those points that we didn't see him make in race 1.
This is getting extremely hectic. GG, I'm on board with GG Racing right now. And Wrath and Tears is just absolutely holding everyone up. And he's going to go wide. TX3 Lightning all the way up to 7th. And Captain Solo's all the way up to 5th position. Fujiwara's trying to hold these guys off. Fujiwara locking up the brakes. Oh, and his engine's Captain Solo. They're both off in the corkscrew. Solo's going to merge back onto the track, and almost an Arctic Inferno's going to fall all the way back to 9th. Wow. Huge.
Critical error from Fujiwara there. Really taking Captain Solo out of the race. That's going to be huge for Julian, actually, because if Captain Solo has a bad round, Julian's going to have a huge points gap on him. Gaining. It's going to be critical for that top 8 bubble position.
Yeah, and now Solo's falling into the clutches of his teammate Sauber. Zoom for the 9th position as they come into turn 2A. And Zoom's going to get the move done, but Solo's looking for the cutback. Julian putting on a 1-point-second lead over Cerny right now as Zoom gets the move done into Arctic Inferno, and he's going to slide.
Zoom lifted there. That's really good sportsmanship. Solo goes back through.
Solo now looking threatening on Arctic Inferno. Contact. And Zoom's going to get the move done on the outside. Here comes Zoom. Oh, my God. 3 wide. They're not going to go 3 wide into 7 or 6. No, Zoom's going to make it through.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a tap from Inferno. And Zoom's going to fall to 10th. Or, excuse me, not Zoom. Solo. Looks like Inferno's going to let him go.
Oh, my goodness.
But he's really deep on the brakes. Zoom looking to make his way back up through the field now. Billy Sue's still back in the 12th position. As Fujiwara goes wide, on board with him now. Wrath and Tears is all the way back in. I was going to say Wrath and Tears is all the way back in 17th. It looks like it's more Tears than Wrath for him tonight.
Absolutely. That's a little bit of a bad pun, but sure thing. Billy Sue's just got nowhere to go. There's cars everywhere in front of it. There's a huge grid, and there's just no passing room at all.
The Inferno.
Past one, there's just another car.
Yep. And that one Outlaw looking threatening on iMixer there, and Solo's trying to find his way back through. Oh, it's a tap.
Switching to the wall.
Oh. Mixer's around. He's going to sim twitch off of Arctic Inferno into the grass. There's somebody else off as well. Wow.
Oh my gosh, carnage everywhere all over the track.
Captain Solo's back up to the 7th position. And that puts Billy Sue into 8th. 2nd is TX3 Lightning.
Closely followed by GG Racing, mind you. He is right on the back of Lightning.
I don't think GG's going to be able to stay with it for very long. Lightning really looks threatening. Julian making mistakes up front right now. We're going to have a battle for the lead here in a couple of minutes. That's 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think a couple of turns.
Zoom. Let's hop back to Zoom real quick. Looks threatening on Skyline. We're only on lap 5. And Lightning has come all the way from dead last in this grid in 4 laps to the back bumper of your leader, TUS Julian. Right now I'm on board with Sauber Zoom, looking to get around THR Skyline. Maybe if Skyline can just let him through, they might be able to catch the guys up front. Let's hop up to the battle for the lead, though. TX3 Lightning looks threatening. Your race 1 winner, Julian. You can see it. He's just making a couple mistakes. Allows Lightning to pull into the back bumper. Julian needs to really hold it down here. His Captain Solo's up into that 6th spot. It looks like Lightning's going to have the run. The corkscrew. He's got to defend. He's got to squeeze him. He's got to try to make it through. Good job from Julian. And Lightning gets the move done through the corkscrew. That's a very strong move from Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. Julian's really got to get a run through these next couple of corners if he wants to stay with Lightning, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's got GG Racing to deal with.
GG looks threatening now. Lightning looking really good for a double win tonight. Pole race 1 and race 2 win. This is what happens when you don't show up, Venom and Force 1. You allow Lightning to have a perfect night and pull a gap on you. I mean, Force 1 had a perfect night as well, but now Lightning's got to have a perfect night as well.
And it's going to be close to that #1 position at this regional championship that we've got going here.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, Lightning coming into tonight only 3 points ahead of Force 1. This is definitely going to help his chances. I think after tonight he'll be about 11 or 12 points ahead of Force 1. Gigi's got to make short work of Julian here if he wants any shot of even remotely coming near Lightning in this race. Because Zoom is coming as well. Zoom has overtaken... Oh, we have a car on the wall over there as well.
Yeah, so I would get on mix-up. Yeah.
Zoom is coming, and he already overtook Skyline for that 4th position. Julian looks strong right now, though.
Those look pretty solid, yeah. He's keeping GG at bay. That could be just cork in the bottle kind of thing, and GG's not being able to find a way past him, not finding the room. Very tight track, like we said. Barely 3 cars wide most of the way round. Oh, just avoiding contact there.
Venom says, I'm not trying to spend 11 hours tuning.
That's fair enough, Venom. I know exactly what you mean. Looks like GG's done something to his tune. He looks much more stable, much more consistent in this reverse grid race. Oh, he's got the inside line here. He's not going to quite get it done. It's going to be another lap for him, I think, before he's going to get another opportunity like that.
From Julian, though. A little bit of a wiggle in on the grass. GG decides to dip back into line here through 4. Bounces off the curb. It's going to push him wide. Yep, there he goes.
Yep.
Julian's going to get a bit of a run here. Zoom is closing in as well. And if these guys keep battling, Zoom's going to be there. Here on lap number 7, GG's stalking. He's got to make short work of Julian. He can't mess around too much because Zoom is coming. He's going to give up the podium here if he doesn't get around Julian.
This is quite the move that we needed. Julian's going defensive. He's going to have him there.
Strong on the brakes from both those guys, though. Really good through there. GG's going to get the better run out of the corkscrew. Zoom is coming. Zoom is closing that gap quickly. Who's that in 6th? Who is that in 6th back there?
I think that's Skyline.
No, that's Billy Sue.
Oh, that's Billy Sue.
Solo's in 7th. That's Skyline in 5th here. This is about to turn into a train. An absolute train behind Julian. This is Sebring all over again. He has to defend and defend well.
This is the EU round all over again. We got 4 cars battling for 2nd place. This is going to be 6 cars battling for 2nd place.
Oh, GG later on the brakes, he makes a space where there isn't one. And Julian didn't like that at all. Tried to squeeze him. Come on, Julian, fight back. Lean on him a little bit. That is not a nice move from GG. And here comes Zoom. Zoom's going to help Julian through here with the draft. Oh, and GG gives him a little tap on the inside. And Julian forces him wide, and here comes Zoom.
Zoom with the run. Amazing. Can he hold it around the outside? Julian's really not giving up this position. He's fighting tooth and nail for this.
Julian, what a defensive maneuver. And Gigi forces Zoom wide. He's going to lose 3 positions now.
Too wide through that kink is not a way to go. You will end in tears, like I said. Zoom late on the brakes. Oh, there's some pushing, shoving.
Bumping Gigi. Gigi's got to merge back on the track. Oh, Skyline. Billy Sue got in.
Oh, no.
Billy Sue got into the Skyline. And then Zoom and Skyline off. Oh, Skyline's luck continues to go sour.
Poor guy, man. I really have not seen him get a good battle in ever. Guy,
and this is allowed Julian to pull out a little bit of a gap here. Looks about half a second now.
Skyline's in the pits as well.
Oh, he pitted.
Yeah, he's in the pits. I don't know if he actually had damage, and I can't check now because he pulled into his pit stop. That is a tragic end to his race.
Looks like he's still going to come out in the 12th position, 11th or 12th position, maybe even 13th.
It's going to be a rough recovery drive. That's allowed Captain Solo up into 5th place. Still, Julian maintaining that cork in the bottle status. GG Racing back into 3rd. TX3 Billy Sue right on his tail.
Billy Sue going to make the move around the outside here, coming into 5.
That's brave.
This is 6 here. Oh, Gigi, all you gotta do is force wide. What a defense from Gigi. And what a run from Solo as well. Makes it through that 4th spot. These are battle for podium positions right now. Solo. Jeez. Gigi saves that car. Oh, Solo, good gentlemanship, but Gigi just can't save that car. It was too much. No, he knocks Billy Sue into the sand. Gigi sideways again, and Zoom a good recovery after that incident with Skyline. Gigi doesn't want to go that spot. Look at Julian, he's gone now.
Yeah. Are you seeing these lap times being put in by Lightning though? 125 twos. He's dipping into the twos. That is blistering.
Incredible. That's incredible.
Oh, Billy Sue getting that shot off, that mechanical understeer, straight into the dirt. Didn't happen, man. I'm telling you, these cars are wild. But Julian looking solid for 2nd place here. He really wants those points. He really wants that 8th spot. Solo right behind him. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Solo's definitely outperformed him for tonight. He's going to have to hope that Billy Sue and Zoom can get around Solo for that final podium position and hope that he drops down because, I mean, in a 2nd position, he's still going to get 95 points.
Do you mean 3rd?
Or, no, Julian's still going to get 95 points for finishing 2nd.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, he really wants Billy Sue and Zoom to get around him to minimize Captain Solo's points. And this has been an interesting race so far. A lot of hip and shoulder action, a lot of trading of paint.
Some of the guys in the live chat are saying that this is poor racecraft. A little bit of it is, yes. As Billy Sue's going for the move around the right side of Solo, doesn't quite have the area for the cutback. As his nose was on the back bumper, and now Billy Sue's going to get into the sand a little bit. That's going to slow down his run here as we have 5 laps remaining. Zoom has closed it back in. Oh, that's wide from Solo.
Racing. Oh, gone.
I was just going to say that's wide from Solo, and this is providing an opportunity for Billy Sue now to come around the outside. This is great news for Julian, and it's allowing him to get away, and he's hoping that these guys will overtake Solo. Zoom's going to take the spot from Billy Sue now.
Solo's not making it easy for these guys.
Well, he doesn't want to give up that 3rd spot. He knows he's in 8th place on the bubble. He knows Julian's 9th. Only 13 points back. He can't lose these spots.
Fair enough.
Solo's
holding up Zoom's no joke.
I mean, I was going to say, Solo is going to defend just like Julian did on him. Because, I mean, I don't know how hard Solo's going to defend on Zoom because Zoom is his teammate. But, I mean, this is an individual competition. This is an individual competition, and Solo knows he is on the bubble.
Team points basically mean nothing. That is correct. I mean, there might be some scrappy races, and maybe this will be adjudication post-race.
Oh, that's a tap from Billy Sue in that solo round. And GG Racing gonna fly into third. And Billy Sue's gonna let Solo go. And Zoom. Oh, Zoom didn't like that. You could see he was pushing his car onto Solo, or onto Billy Sue there, going on the straightaway.
Really gave him not a lot of room there to come up against the wall. Absolutely. I mean, bit of a miscalculation there from Billy Sue. Really cost those guys those positions.
That puts FRF Captain Solo down into fourth, though, with Julian in second.
Still not going to be enough. I mean, basically, Solo needs to wreck if Julian's going to outperform him in this round.
Yeah, Solo got fourth, I think. Didn't he have fourth position, I believe? And Julian finished ninth in the first race. So, I mean, that's like, I think that's like a 15-point difference. And so right now, Julian's only out by 10 points as Solo goes wide. It's going to allow Zoom to catch up, and GG Racing looking good for a podium here. What a dive bomb from Zoom. That's not even a thing. That's not even a thing. You cannot make that stick. There's no way.
He's got to let that go.
Absolutely naughty. Billy Sue goes back through. I think he just missed his braking point.
Yeah, I think he bailed out there. I think he got scared from Zoom. Solo braking a little bit early, and Zoom just bailed out of the dirt, trying not to make contact.
Now Zoom's tapping the back bumper of Billy Sue. Very aggressive racing right now. Very aggressive. I don't think we've seen this type of... I mean, we've seen aggressive racing in the past couple of races, but this is just unprecedented.
The gloves are off.
I think these guys know that it's starting to get to crunch time now. It's halfway through the season. They know every point is starting to matter.
Absolutely. I don't know how much post-race adjudication will come into play here. I mean, I know these guys self-adjudicate more or less. Like, I don't really know if that's self-adjudication is the correct word there, but it's all driver adjudication. You got to record that clip, send it into Delta Race Team, and they'll adjudicate from there. I don't know how much of that's going to go on.
These guys are forming up a line here. Lightning has a commanding 12.4 second lead over TUS Julian, and it's 14 back to GG Racing. That's like a second a lap Lightning's putting down over these guys.
I'm unsurprised. Julian really doesn't have the pace to live with Lightning, and he's just holding these guys up to no end, and these guys are constantly battling behind him. They really need to just sort of hang Julian outside on a corner and just all go past at the same time, but he's really fighting tooth and nail, making it not easy for these guys at all.
Yeah, now GG Racing sort of put himself a gap between Solo and Billy Sue, as Billy Sue has now caught the rear bumper back to Solo.
Wonder if they'll stay single file and try and like catch up the leaders. No, Billy Sue's looking for the inside.
Billy Sue. Billy Sue a little bit deeper on the brakes. Solo around. Solo gives him plenty of room. I don't know why he gave him so much room. He's going to file back in, and now Zoom's looking threatening on Captain Solo. Solo's going to fall to 6th here if he doesn't be careful.
It's only helping out Julian even more. Julian can hold out for these next 2 laps. That's all it is, 2 laps. And he's got himself a podium.
Exactly, and it looks like he's got the same... I mean, that's a second-place finish. That's 95 points.
It's a huge score for
Julian
there.
As opposed to 82 from Captain Solo finishing 5th. Then it'll be 79 if he finishes 6th. Oh, that's Zoom wide. You can see the sand just sucking him into the wall.
I was waiting for him to hit that tire barrier, to be honest.
So was I.
Held my breath there. It caught in my throat.
Billy Sue looks like he wants a podium as well. He's caught the back of GG Racing now. Solo losing touch a little bit with Billy Sue. As Billy Sue's there.
Great run of that penultimate corner there. For that wide line.
Oh, GG gets on the curb on the inside. Billy Sue's going to have to run. GG goes defensive. Billy Sue cuts across, trying to find any room he can.
Really defensive middle line that GG Racing took there. Really held up Billy Sue. He couldn't find the room on the outside. He couldn't find the room on the inside. The cutback, I assume.
GG, that's a very suspect defend because he floated to the middle and then he went back to the outside to the racing line. But
Billy Sue's having none of it though.
Yeah. From GG out of there. Squeezing him. He leaves him half a car's width through there. Billy Sue shows his displeasure. And here comes Solo. He knows he's getting pressure now from Solo on the inside. Less than 2 laps to go now. This is going to allow Gigi to get away. Solo's back through into 4th. What a run! What a run from Solo into 3rd. Into a podium position. Through 5. Oh, and Billy Sue's
too wide to the king.
Oh, man.
Too wide for the king. Told you not to do it. I warned you at the start of the race, guys. Don't do it. Oh, my God. 3 wide into the corkscrew.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Billy Sue's
move.
GG Racing way off. He just lost 3 positions.
I don't know if Zoom should have done that. That was pretty questionable.
That was mental.
That was very greedy.
And
that was
Solo's
very greedy.
Julian. And Julian's wide. Oh, wait, no, that's Wrath and Tears. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Back marker, guys. Back marker. Don't worry. This is for the... Julian's going to secure himself a 2nd place. Solo's going to come 3rd, though.
No, Zoom's looking at the inside going into turn 2 now. And Zoom's got the position.
End of the race, man.
Oh, but Solo's fighting back on the inside.
Oh, no. This is the last lap. I apologize.
This is the last lap, yeah.
I got caught out. Just lightning went over the line first. Never mind. Go on.
No, I was just going to say Solo's just lost down to 4th, and Billy Sue's looking threatening. He's not careful. He's going to lose to 5th after gaining all those spots. That's a tap from Billy Sue. Gigi's missing a freaking headlight right now. That's how much beating and banging these guys are doing. Look at the front end and the side of Zoom's car here we're on board with. Final lap now, final half a lap. Can Billy Sue take that 4th spot? Looks like Zoom's going to put down the pace and keep that podium position. As Julian 2nd, your leader's TX3 Lightning.
He's going to drift across the line here, I think. Yeah, by a huge margin. That's a perfect drive from Lightning, a perfect race weekend. His car is virtually untouched.
Billy Sue's got 1 shot. It's a great one there. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, that's a tap on Solo. I think Billy Sue's just going to let him have it. Maybe, maybe not.
That cutback.
No, not going to happen in an all-wheel drive car. That's it. Lightning takes the win. Julian 2nd, Zoom 3rd, Captain Solo 4th, Billy Sue 5th, GG Racing 6th.
Well, that was chaotic. Absolutely chaotic.
Mental.
RD Inferno going to pick himself up at 7th place, closely followed by Fat Cat Empire in 8th. A pretty strong round from those guys as well. Not doing too badly to pick up those preliminary positions. 9th is AMR Aftermath. 10th place is THR Skyline with a fairly decent recovery drive. Super unlucky from him. Such a heartbreaking story right there.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him. I messaged him earlier this week and I was like, man, you got beat around last week like a pinball. And he's like, yeah, dude. It was just bad.
Yeah, man.
And, I mean, nothing's changed.
He continues to find himself. Yeah, he really just continues to find himself at the punching bag of the grid. Like, he just gets bullied off the track all the time. I don't know if he's going to have to submit some SIs or anything like that, which is a steward inquiry for those who aren't aware. My goodness, that was a scrappy race if I've ever seen one.
That was absolutely mental.
I don't think I've seen a scrappier race. I mean, it was tight. There was 6 cars fighting for 6th place, but I mean, there was not a lot of patience shown there from a lot of guys. Zoom with that really insane dive into the corkscrew. Yeah, it was crazy.
A lot of guys in the chat saying this is poor racecraft and this is one of the worst displays of racing I've ever seen. And you know what? I mean, that was pretty sloppy. I mean, that looked like Forza RC racing.
Yeah, I really can't wholeheartedly disagree with that assessment. It wasn't the cleanest of races by far, but it sure had some action in it. We'll have to see what the adjudication post-race has in store for us, but we won't know until later this week. In fact, we just don't have the facilities that the RC does to do it in a couple hours. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be dishing out penalties in that race.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even though these guys are self-adjudicating and they're letting guys get the positions back, they have to know that that's not acceptable because this is not going to fly. I'm telling you right now, this driving is not going to fly in the final either. They're going to get massive penalties They're gonna get massive penalties for this stuff.
Some very strict penalties coming into play in the finals. There's no way that we would allow that sort of things, those sort of moves to go down.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw a little bit of this stuff last week, I mean, as well, but it just wasn't as bad as it was tonight. And maybe it's just Laguna Seca, but because it's a very technical track, and there's not too many places to overtake, so maybe people felt a little bit desperate. That's no excuse.
No, more patience needs to be shown.
Driving at
I mean,
all.
Lightning just sat back and just capitalized on everybody else's contact, I think, in that first few laps, and that allowed him to get ahead. But once the race calms down, there's going to be close racing, and we saw it in the first race. It was fairly clean. It was nice. People were respectful. There was no crazy dives from way back, but I don't know. This race just didn't have it in it.
Yeah, and Topher's asking if there's there's self-adjudication. When we say self-adjudication, we don't mean they're literally self-adjudicating themselves and justifying what they did by giving the position back. We mean that essentially what they're doing is they are giving the position back, but that doesn't mean that they can't have an SI submitted against them, even if they do that. So even a dive, even that tap on, who was it? Someone tapped somebody into solo going into the corkscrew and pushed him wide, and he lost like 4 positions.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was. There was a couple of incidences in the corkscrew. There was a lot of bunching up there, obviously. You get a huge Constantina effect when you go from a long run into a very slow section there. So, I'm not too sure who that was. Can't quite remember. I have to watch a stream back or something like that. But, yeah, man. That was very scrappy.
Yeah, and we're still in the lobby right now just waiting for everyone to finish because we had a back marker on that race.
Well, Mix is he's like several laps down after getting killed. Like he's 100% damage all over, so.
Yeah. I would say overall, not a bad round from Julian. I think he did a great job defending. I think he didn't look like, at least from what I saw, he didn't make any suspect moves that I would warrant as dirty or anything like that. We saw a little bit of questionable defending from Gigi. But I thought that Julian raced these guys clean, and he did a great job to put down the pace once he got the space.
Yeah, those guys really held each other up there when they were battling behind Julian, trying to make their way past. Instead of just sort of like giving each other room to have a go, they just sort of attacked, and it sort of just built up into a frenzy of moves that really didn't work out very well. I mean,
Zoom was threatening him. Zoom was side by side with him there for a minute, and to hold Zoom off and GG Racing.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was a great job from Julian. And I was saying during the broadcast, I was like, Gigi's got to make short work of Julian now because he's gonna fall.
Yeah.
And he fell to 6th, twice. I think they all like turned over, in their positions. But that was some insane action.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. These guys definitely have the pace, but I don't think they had the heads-up racing in the racecraft or experience to just sort of time their moves where it's going to stick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just sort of seemed rushed and aggressive, and they felt the desperation and the pressure, and they just sort of got to them rather than just relaxing and just letting it play out or capitalizing on a mistake from Julian. It just sort of pushed, and they pushed into each other, and it made a mess. I don't know, man. I'm not too happy with that round, but hey, that's racing sometimes.
Yeah, we'll definitely be having conversations with Delta Online Racing about this race for sure, and if any penalties need to be warranted, because that was very, very suspect. Not the cleanest of racing at all. Yeah,
certainly not what they're capable of. These guys are at the top of the game. They definitely should put on a better display than that.
Yeah, there's a big conversation going on in the corkscrew if Julian was... did I just say a big conversation in the corkscrew? Big conversation in the live chat, excuse me, about if Julian was defending fairly or not. I mean, I've said a little bit of my sense on it. You know, I'll say this.
I've had my sense on it.
He did a great job to maintain his position. We'll put it that way. You know, I think there was a lot of moves from a lot of people in that race that really didn't, that were not, I would say that were worse than any kind of defending that he did whatsoever. I mean, there was definitely a lot of stuff that went on in that race, and there was stuff that we didn't even see either. I mean, we were looking back as well on a couple. I think it was a couple laps in, and somebody, who was it? Somebody was off in turn 3 or 4, and there was a wreck, and then someone sim twitched off of RD Inferno. So there's stuff that we didn't catch.
We can't catch it all. We only have 2 screens. We can only watch 2 races at once. But yeah, definitely going to be one for contention. I don't think we've heard the end of that one.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to pull somebody in from that absolute chaos of a race.
Who are you feeling? Billy Sue? Captain Solo? Julian? GG?
One of those guys. Who are you feeling? Who are you feeling?
I'm not too sure. Do you want to pull in Zoom?
Yeah, let's have a chat with Zoom and see if he. Pull him in here. Zoom, if you're in the chat or you're watching the stream, we'd love for you to join us on stream if I can find you here. See if he joins us. Had a good night. Zoom did.
Yeah, he had strong finishes in the first race and the second race.
I think he had double podium tonight as well, which is really good to see. You know, he is one of the best drivers in the world, and
provisionally.
Yeah.
Not that, but provisionally podiums. I mean, we'll see what adjudication has to say about his finishing order in the second race.
Yeah.
Hopefully he joins us. If we wait too much longer, we might have to pick up somebody else.
Yeah, and then we'll end up with 2 people in the party.
That always happens.
Yeah, that was, I have to say, you know, not the cleanest of racing. And, you know, we understand that there is money on the line in this, you know, series, but it's just, it's not acceptable, especially when these guys are some of the best drivers in the world, to be racing the way they are. This is community racing. This is community racing. This is not Forza RC, and you know, a little bit more respect should be shown. But
a little bit more patience, absolutely.
Yeah, but I will say the action did provide some absolutely insane moments on stream, some insane commentary moments. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Skyline didn't shoot himself in the foot there with his livery of Wanna Bang Doors. But yeah, a lot of people have a lot to say about that race. I just saw Diablo comment on Twitter there. He tuned in for the second part of the race and he said it was the worst racecraft he's ever seen. A lot of strong opinions forming about this.
Yeah. We'll get Zoom's take on it here in just a second. I believe he has joined us. There he is.
Nope.
Zoom, are you there?
Oh, yeah.
How's it going, man?
Yes, I can. Yeah, it's good. What about you?
Good. What a crazy race. Good results from you. I believe you got, what, a second and a third
just
tonight?
quickly. Oh, could you get Zoom to mute the GTR kicker in the party?
Oh, I'll do it. Just a minute.
Sorry, yeah, that's no worries.
Yeah, mute me.
Yeah, now it's muted.
No, you're not muted.
Carry on.
Go ahead. What I was going to say was you had a good night overall. How'd you feel about the racing tonight? There's a lot of stuff going around about poor racecraft from a lot of drivers. What was your perspective on the racing tonight?
Yeah, to be honest, I think the game is so broken now. I mean, had a lot of moments with the guys. Sometimes it's not even bad driving or aggressive driving. I just feel like the game is so broken. Like I don't have any device on my screen or of high latency or bad connection scene. But everyone in my screen was lagging, and sometimes you get close to the car in front and he just got sent. And I don't know exactly what to think. It's just impossible to race side by side as the game is it now. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's the things are missing up. We have a mix of things like some drivers that are quite aggressive. I would say GG Racing did some moves, but I can have sure if it was his intention or was just lagging all the way around. So yeah, I just think the game now is so bad to race. I mean, you can have close racing. I went to back of Billy Sue 2 times and also solo. And when I tried to get a little bit closer, the car just sent them around. So, I mean, the racing is so bad at the game as it now with the collision system and stuff. It's just bad.
I mean, we saw that at Road America, a high latency issue. I mean, doesn't seem to appear in the EU side, but you guys seem to cop it a lot over here in the US, rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I've been racing with the guys from Europe. We do some lobbies sometimes, and I don't see that too often. But when we come to racing on Americas and that stuff, it really seems like it kicks in. But I'm not sure if it's about internet connection or stuff like that. I just really feel like the game is broken. I mean, we do lobbies earlier. We have Latin races, and most of the time we got American races going, and we never had problems. But I mean, it seems like you got a championship to do and you got a live stream to do and the game just starts to broke. I don't know what to feel, I'm just really pissed with the game as it now because it doesn't provide a good racing, good racing feeling.
And there's not much you can do when those sort of things are gone. You go, Kiko.
I was just going to say that's, I think that it seems like more problems have come up with this new collision system, and it just doesn't seem like it seems like the hitboxes are very off as well. At least from the spectate mode, it looks very off. I don't know. Were you experiencing any weirdness with the hitboxes during the race?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I had 2 moments with Billy Sue, and also I think with GG Racing and Captain Solo. Yeah, as soon as you get a little bit closer, sometimes you're just doing a normal braking, you're not trying to dive or anything like that. You just do a normal brake, and then you see the car in front is getting sent on the grass or on the gravel, whatever it is. So yeah, I think the hitboxes are broken. Racing side by side or trying to brake behind another car is just. I mean, the game is really broken, man. I can't describe how bad it is. I mean, how bad I feel when I am close to another car. The only way to have a good race is being alone. If you are close to someone, then you know shit gonna happen.
And did you feel like there was a lot of aggression, not only out of people that were racing, or excuse me, that not only due to what you're talking about, but there was just overall aggression tonight, like a lot of it. Did you feel like that was, that didn't help at all tonight either? I mean, from what we saw, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, some guys are just starting to race now, and they're trying to do their best. I get it, but sometimes they just don't think about it sometimes. To be honest, that battle between Julian and GG Racing at all was a little bit too much. They were right in front of me, and I was just looking at that and waiting for them to have a solution or something like that. And they are just punching each other, crashing, and you could go anywhere. GG Racing come through inside, and Julian blocks way too much. And any of those guys, I mean, they're by my point of view, I just don't think that they were racing. It didn't look like a battle. Just it seemed like they are kicking each other, banging doors and stuff like that. It was really, was not good racing, to be honest. But as I said, yeah, it's hard to say what is just aggression or just thinking about the game.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, latency is a huge factor in like close racing, obviously, when you can't quite tell where someone's going to be.
Yeah, it's just hard sometimes, because you think you are side by side and you think the car is right there when you where you see it on your screen, but actually not. The game's kind of he's kind of writing that in a different way. So yeah, the hitboxes are broken. The game is broken. It's just bad. You know, you can't be side by side with another person. But yeah, I think some guys are just need to chill out a little bit. And I mean, mainly on the reverse grid. You know, it's a long race. You got 16 laps, and you can just really solve it on the first corner, on the first 5-6 laps. You know.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be having talks with Delta Online Racing about, you know, the aggression and what went on tonight as well. And I'm sure that a lot of drivers may be getting messages about the way that they drove tonight. Yeah, man, thanks so much for joining us. I mean, hopefully, you know, Forza can hear our cries with some of the issues and get it fixed. But you know, I mean, it is what it is right now, and you're doing really well on the points. I believe you're third. And you've got a win on the season as well. So far, pretty successful.
Yeah, I would say, but to be honest, I'm not really that motivated because, as I said, as we told now, the game's really broken. I'm not really motivated to play it. I've been playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. To be honest, my console was off when you invited me. I just saw the invite by my cell phone and then decided to get in to do the interview. But yeah, I mean, as soon as the race is over, I just turned off the console because I got zero motivation to do it, you know. But I signed it up, so I'll be doing other races, but yeah, I'm not feeling comfortable. Tuning cars is not my strongest. It's not one of my abilities, let's say, because I really suck at it. I don't understand nothing about tuning, you know. But yeah, it's going well so far, and what it counts will be the Spa race, the final. So I'll be looking forward to put more effort into that, have a better tune, and really try to get motivated to practice, because I just went like 1 hour before the race and did some laps, and that was it.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope that the finals doesn't have these high latency issues that we've been seeing throughout the season. I mean, it sounds like a tough ask. It's pretty unpredictable from what we can tell.
Let's see what Forza will do, because I mean, if you can have latency issues in between a region, which is our region, like the Americas, I can even imagine how it would be if we mixed with the Europe. I just hope the game fixes itself or get something better, because other than that, will be just the qualifying will be the main point, because if you qualify first, then you can go, then it's okay. But other than that, it's just no way to be battling.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing you in the finale and the rest of the season. Good luck with that, and thanks so much for joining us, man. We appreciate your honesty as well. I know a lot of people.
And your insight,
right now.
Your insight, It's really hard for us as commentators, like in spectate mode, to see the latency and see that issue. It doesn't come up, like when it comes through to the spectate. I'm sure you know that it refines the.
Yeah. I mean, but other than that, you know, I'll be racing, and thanks to you guys for inviting me to do this, and was really good interview.
Cool, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck next week, man. We'll hope to talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you, and see ya. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. Well, there you go. More high latency for the Americas.
Yeah. You know, he was talking about how there was a fine line there between the aggression and the latency. I mean, I guess you didn't know what was what, and he talked about the incidences with, you know, with the driving between Julian and GG Racing, and you know, we were watching that entire battle, some of it from his perspective, and it, you know, you could definitely see. I didn't know that there was, you know, latency going on, but it just, I mean, it made for good racing. I shouldn't say good racing. It made for interesting racing, but
made for good action. But
weird, very weird scenarios.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, latency makes things hard for sure. And like, being Australian, I cop that a lot. I'm often in a high latency or low bandwidth scenario, and people around me struggle to race. But it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, guys,
can't quite call it either way.
Yeah. Primitive Skater is asking if Zoom recommends taking off braking line. I would actually love to answer that. Zoom I don't know Zoom's perspective on taking off braking line. In terms of, I know Forza RC restricts it. And I know Jason here, DR Roadkill, has been running without it, or at least trying to run out it for the past couple months now. From my perspective, it doesn't make you really faster or slower. I think that taking braking line off makes you more consistent once you learn the braking points, but it takes a lot longer to learn a track. So if you're serious about getting faster, in my opinion, you can just leave it on until you're comfortable with everything else in the settings and stuff like that, and then you could try taking it off. But you're not going to gain or lose speed from taking off, in my opinion.
And as far as learning tracks goes, the longer you race without the braking line, the easier it is to pick up a track earlier, because you're sort of used to it, if that makes sense. You're not looking for a braking line, so to speak. You're just gauging how fast you're approaching the corner, if that makes sense. Like you impose upon yourself that sensation of speed, and that sensation of speed, that sense of distance, that allows you to pick a braking point much easier than what I can do right now. Like, I've noticed it sometimes when I'm in the zone, as far as no braking line goes, you do just sort of judge how fast you're going into the corner, and you can just brake or steer the car or throttle on at the right points. But no, it's a strong learning curve. I don't recommend it until you're fairly competent at the game. As far as making you faster, definitely not. But it does hold back your potential, because you're still relying on that braking line to decide where you're going to brake. So, yeah, and that's misleading. Honestly, it lies all the time.
Yeah. So, guys, there's a link in the description below if you still want to get involved. Go ahead and sign up as well. Super Minis, Delta Online Racing Super Minis resumes round 3 this weekend, or round 3 or round 4 this weekend. I think it's round 4 actually this weekend. So if you want to smack off Roadkill, go ahead. He's running that.
But that's my favorite track, so good luck.
Yep. Yeah. So make sure you guys sign in for that if you are signed up. That's gonna do it for us here. You know, on Off the Track. We hope that you guys weren't too disgusted by what you saw on stream. It definitely made for some action as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go and have some conversations with some other people about what we saw tonight. And
yeah, we'll definitely talk about this. But guys, don't just throw this all in the bin. I mean, high latency is a huge issue. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. Racing with it's very hard, and you want to race as close as you can because the stakes are high, of course. And it does obviously create some interesting scenarios there that we saw. But yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it. I am GTR Kicker, and I'm my good friend here, DR Roadkill. We will see you next week for Suzuka in the second half of the Delta Online Racing Gallardo Super Cup Championship Series. Catch y'all later.